Billionaire CEO accidentally interviewed single mom for wrong job. She left him speechless. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Romance Rewind Stories. Before we dive into today's incredible story, I have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying these heartwarming tales, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. It's quick, it's free, and it's the best way to support us in bringing you more emotional romance stories. And here's something I'd love to know. Where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. I always enjoy seeing our amazing community from around the world. Oh, and if this story touches your heart, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps us grow and reach more people who love these kinds of tales. Now let's get into today's story. Billionaire CEO accidentally interviewed single mom for wrong job. She left him speechless. The mix-up happened because of identical last names and a harried HR assistant who'd been working 18-hour days. Sterling Wolfe, CEO of Wolfe Industries and youngest billionaire in tech at 35, sat in his corner office waiting to interview Maren Hayes. Supposedly a Harvard MBA graduate with 10 years of strategic consulting experience, perfect for his new VP of Operations position. The woman who walked through his door at exactly 2 p.m. was not that Maren Hayes. This Maren Hayes was probably early 30s, wearing a department store blazer that had seen better days, carrying a worn portfolio, and looking simultaneously exhausted and determined. She had dark circles under her eyes that spoke of sleepless nights, and her handshake was strong, but her hands were rough. These were hands that had worked, really worked, not just typed on expensive keyboards. "Ms. Hayes," Sterling said, gesturing to the chair across from his massive desk. "Thank you for coming. I've reviewed your resume and I'm impressed. Harvard MBA, correct?" Maren blinked, confusion crossing her face. "I'm sorry, what? I don't have an MBA. I have an associate's degree from community college. I'm here about the administrative assistant position?" Sterling froze, looking down at the resume his assistant had provided. Harvard MBA, strategic consulting, fluent in 3 languages. He looked back up at Maren, who was clearly none of those things. "There's been a mistake," he said slowly. "You're not the Maren Hayes I was supposed to interview." "Oh, God," Maren said, standing abruptly. "I'm so sorry. I'll go. I don't know how this happened." "Sit," Sterling said, his CEO voice making it a command rather than a request. Maren sat. "Explain. You're here for what position exactly?" "Administrative assistant. Entry level. Your company posted it 3 weeks ago. I applied, got an email yesterday saying I had an interview today at 2 p.m. with Sterling Wolfe. I thought it was strange that the CEO would interview for an admin position, but I figured maybe that's how your company works. I need this job. I'm a single mother with 2 kids. I've been unemployed for 4 months since my last company downsized, and I'm about to lose my apartment. So I wore my only professional outfit and came here hoping for a chance." Sterling studied her, seeing the desperation she was trying to hide, the pride warring with need, the fierce determination in her eyes. "Tell me about yourself," he said, making a decision. "Not what's on your resume. Tell me who you actually are." "Why? You just said this is a mistake. I'm not qualified for whatever position you're actually hiring for." "Humor me. You came all this way. Might as well practice your interview skills." Maren looked at him suspiciously, then sighed. "Fine. I'm 32. I have 6-year-old twins, boy and girl, Riley and River. Their father left when they were babies, said he didn't sign up for kids. I worked my way through community college, taking night classes while working 2 jobs. Got my associates in business administration. Worked as an administrative coordinator for a marketing firm for 8 years before they laid off half the staff. I'm good at organization, problem solving, keeping things running smoothly. I'm not fancy and I don't have impressive credentials, but I work harder than anyone you'll ever meet because I have to. My kids are counting on me." What are you good at, specifically? Making order out of chaos. I raised twins alone while working and going to school. If I can coordinate nap schedules, work schedules, class schedules, and feeding schedules for 2 babies simultaneously, I can coordinate anything. I see patterns, find efficiencies, fix broken systems. At my last job, I redesigned their entire filing system and cut document retrieval time by 60%. I created a client communication protocol that improved retention by 25%. None of it was in my job description. I just saw problems and fixed them. Why didn't you pursue your MBA? With skills like that, you could have advanced further. Maren's laugh was bitter. With what money? What time? Mr. Wolf, I barely afford groceries some weeks. Graduate school requires resources I don't have. So I do the best with what I've got and hope it's enough. Sterling leaned back in his chair, an idea forming. I'm going to make you an unusual offer, not for the admin position. That's already filled. But I need someone to solve a problem, and I think you might be uniquely qualified. What kind of problem? My company is launching a new initiative, subsidized childcare and family support services for our employees. We want to be the most family-friendly tech company in the industry. But everyone I've interviewed to run this program has been career HR professionals with no actual parenting experience. They talk about best practices and industry standards, but they've never actually struggled to find childcare or balance work and parenting. You have. So you want to hire me to run a program I know nothing about because I'm a struggling single mother. That's either incredibly progressive or incredibly condescending. It's pragmatic. I can hire consultants to handle the technical aspects. What I need is someone who actually understands the problems we're trying to solve. Someone who knows what working parents actually need, not what some HR manual says they need. Interested? What's the catch? The catch is, this is a high-level position. Director of Family Services. You'd be managing a team, coordinating with executives, representing the company publicly. It's a completely different level than what you've done before. The salary is $120,000 a year plus benefits. But Maren, I need to be clear, I'm taking a massive risk on you. You'll be under intense scrutiny. Every mistake will be magnified because people will say you're unqualified. Can you handle that? Maren stared at him. $120,000. That's more than I've made in the last 3 years combined. Is that a yes? Why are you doing this? You don't know me. This could blow up in your face if I fail. Because I built this company on taking risks on unconventional people. I dropped out of college to start Wolf Industries. Everyone said I'd fail. I succeeded because I saw solutions others missed. You have that same quality, and honestly, I'm tired of hiring people who look good on paper but lack real-world understanding. You have real-world in abundance. If I take this and I fail, I'm worse off than I am now. At least unemployed, I have time to find something else. If I take this and crash, I'm the cautionary tale of the unqualified single mom who got promoted beyond her abilities. And if you take this and succeed, you're the woman who revolutionized family services in tech and secured her children's future. Which story do you want to tell? Maren was quiet for a long moment, then, I want to succeed. But Mr. Wolf, I need you to understand, I'm going to do this my way. I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm going to bring my actual experience as a working parent, and that might make executives uncomfortable. Are you okay with that? I'm counting on it. When can you start? I need 2 weeks to arrange childcare and give notice at my current temp job. Done. My assistant will send over the employment contract. Welcome to Wolf Industries, Director Hayes. After Maren left, Sterling's actual VP of Operations candidate, the other Maren Hayes, arrived an hour late, blamed traffic and spent the interview talking about synergies and paradigm shifts without saying anything of substance. Sterling hired her on the spot for a mid-level position and made a note to himself: trust your instincts, not resumes. 2 weeks later, Maren started at Wolf Industries. Sterling watched from a distance as she dove into the role with the same fierce determination she'd shown in their interview. She interviewed working parents at every level of the company, from janitors to executives. She visited local childcare centers unannounced to assess quality. She created surveys, gathered data, and built a comprehensive picture of what employees actually needed. 6 weeks in, she presented her findings to the executive board. Sterling watched the executives, all men, all either childless or with stay-at-home wives, shift uncomfortably as Maren presented her research. The current childcare subsidy is inadequate, Maren said, her voice steady despite the intimidating audience. It covers roughly 30% of actual childcare costs in this city. Working parents are still choosing between quality care and financial stability. Additionally, your parental leave policy is legally compliant but functionally useless. 12 weeks sounds generous until you realize most parents can't afford to take unpaid leave. We're hemorrhaging talented employees, particularly women, because they literally cannot afford to both work here and raise children. Ms. Hayes, one executive interrupted, his tone condescending, we appreciate your passionate perspective, but you have to understand, we have budget constraints. We can't just throw unlimited money at every employee complaint. I'm not suggesting unlimited money. I'm suggesting smart allocation. Do you know how much it costs to replace a senior engineer? Conservative estimate, $150,000 between recruitment, training, and lost productivity. Do you know how many senior engineers we lost last year because of inadequate family support? 14. That's over $2 million lost to preventable turnover. My proposal would cost $800,000 annually and would likely save us that $2 million plus improved retention across all levels. The room went silent. Sterling felt something unexpected: pride. Maren wasn't just presenting feelings or anecdotes. She'd done the math, made the business case, and was presenting it with the confidence of someone who'd earned their position rather than inherited it. I motion we approve Director Hayes' proposal, Sterling said. All in favor. The vote was unanimous, though Sterling suspected it was more about not contradicting the CEO than actual agreement with Maren's vision. After the meeting, Sterling asked Maren to stay. That was impressive, he said. You handled them perfectly. They were condescending, Maren replied. Treated me like I was some charity case you hired to feel good about yourself. And you proved them wrong with data they couldn't argue with. That's exactly what I hired you to do. Why did you really hire me, Mr. Wolf? And don't say it's because I understand working parents. There are plenty of qualified people who are also parents. Why me specifically? Sterling considered lying, maintaining professional distance, but something about Maren's directness made him honest. Because you walked into that first interview prepared to fight for a job you desperately needed, discovered it was the wrong interview, and instead of falling apart or becoming obsequious, you stayed yourself. You were proud, competent, and real. I've interviewed hundreds of people. Most of them perform. Tell me what they think I want to hear. You told me the truth even when it wasn't flattering. That's rare, that's valuable. So this is an experiment. Hire the scrappy single mom and see what happens. This is me recognizing talent that doesn't fit conventional molds. Maren, you're succeeding not despite your unconventional background, but because of it. Stop questioning why I hired you and start accepting that you've earned your position. Over the next 6 months, Maren transformed the family services program. She negotiated partnerships with local childcare centers to provide subsidized spots. She expanded parental leave to include paid time off. She created support groups for working parents, mentorship programs for single parents, and emergency backup childcare for when regular arrangements fell through. And employee satisfaction skyrocketed. Retention improved by 40%. Women stopped leaving the company after having children. The program won industry awards, got featured in business publications, and other companies started asking Wolf Industries to consult on their family programs. Through it all, Sterling watched Maren grow from uncertain newcomer to confident leader. He also found himself noticing things that had nothing to do with work. The way she laughed when telling stories about her twins, the fierce loyalty she showed to her team, the moments of vulnerability when she'd admit she was overwhelmed before rallying and solving the problem anyway. "I'm falling for her," Sterling admitted to his CFO over drinks one evening. "The single mom you hired in that interview mix-up? Wolf, that's a terrible idea. She reports to you. The power dynamic alone. I know, which is why I haven't said anything, but it's getting harder to maintain professional distance when all I want to do is ask her to dinner. So, restructure her reporting. Make her report to me or someone else. Problem solved." "That would look like I'm moving her around for personal reasons. Her credibility is already questioned enough." "Then suffer in silence, I guess. Or grow up and tell her how you feel like an adult." A year after their first interview, the company holiday party brought things to a head. Sterling found Maren standing alone on the balcony, looking out at the city. "Hiding?" he asked, taking a breath. "It's been a year since you hired me. I still can't quite believe this is my life now." "Regrets?" "None. Well, one. I wish I'd met you under different circumstances." "What do you mean?" "I mean, I'm attracted to you, and I have been since that first interview when you took a ridiculous chance on me. But you're my boss. You're a billionaire. I'm a single mother with an associate's degree. The power imbalance alone makes any relationship impossible, and even if it weren't, we're from completely different worlds." Sterling moved closer. "What if I told you I've been feeling the same way? That I've been trying to maintain professional distance, but it's getting harder every day? That I think about you constantly, and it has nothing to do with your work performance?" "I'd say you're my boss, and this conversation is inappropriate." "Then effective immediately. You report to the CFO instead of me. Now I'm not your boss. Does that make this conversation more appropriate?" Maren turned to face him fully. "You're restructuring corporate reporting because you want to ask me out. I'm restructuring corporate reporting because keeping you at arm's length is making me miserable, and I'd like permission to pursue this connection we clearly both feel. Maren, I don't care about different worlds or power imbalances. I care about the woman who challenged me in that first interview, who built an award-winning program from nothing, who talks about her kids with such obvious love, and who makes me laugh more than anyone I've ever met. Your board will hate this. Dating the single mum you hired under unusual circumstances, the optics are terrible. Let them hate it. I didn't build this company by caring what people thought. I built it by taking smart risks. You're the smartest risk I've ever taken. What if this crashes and burns? What if we try and it doesn't work? Then we'll handle it like adults. But Maren, what if it does work? What if this thing between us is exactly what we both need? Are you brave enough to find out?" Maren studied his face for a long moment, then smiled. "I'm brave enough to try. But Sterling, my kids come first. Always. If you're not ready for that reality, we stop this now. Tell me about them. Really tell me. I want to know everything." Lee. They talked on that balcony for hours. Maren told him about Riley's obsession with dinosaurs, River's love of art, the constant chaos of raising twins alone, the guilt of working long hours, the joy of bedtime stories and Saturday morning pancakes. Sterling told her about building his company, the loneliness at the top, the way meeting her had made him reconsider what success actually meant. "I want to meet them," Sterling said. "Riley and River. When you're ready, I want to be part of that part of your life too. That's a big step, I'm aware, but Maren, I'm not interested in halfway. If we're doing this, I'm all in." 3 months into dating, Sterling met the twins. Riley immediately interrogated him about his dinosaur knowledge, lacking but enthusiastic. River asked if he liked to paint. No, but he was willing to learn. Both of them decided he was acceptable when he brought them ice cream, and didn't complain when River accidentally spilled it on his expensive shoes. "They like you," Maren observed after the twins were in bed. "That's unexpected and wonderful. I like them too. They're smart, funny, creative, like their mother." "Sterling, are you sure about this? Dating me means signing up for PTA meetings and kids' soccer games and all the chaos of family life. That's so far from your world. My world was empty before you. Successful, yes. Profitable, absolutely. But empty. Maren, you and your kids, you're what success actually looks like." A year and a half after that mistaken interview, Sterling proposed. Not at some fancy restaurant or exotic location, but at Maren's apartment, with Riley and River present, because they were part of this decision. "Maren Hayes, you walked into my office for the wrong interview and changed my entire life. You taught me that real qualifications have nothing to do with degrees and everything to do with character. You built something extraordinary from nothing. You're an incredible mother, a brilliant professional, and the love of my life. Will you marry me?" Before Maren could answer, Riley piped up, "Does this mean you'll be our dad?" Sterling looked at the twins. "If you'll have me. I know I can't replace your biological father, and I'm not trying to, but I'd be honored to be your dad in all the ways that actually matter." "Can we call you Dad?" River asked. "I'd love that." "Then Mom should definitely say yes," Riley decided. "Yes," Maren said through tears. "Forever yes." Their wedding was a blend of both worlds, Sterling's business associates and Maren's working-class family, expensive catering and homemade decorations the twins had created, designer clothes and genuine joy. During the reception, one of Sterling's board members approached Maren. "I owe you an apology," he said. "When Sterling hired you, I thought it was a publicity stunt, the scrappy single mum given a chance. I was wrong. You've revolutionized how we think about employee welfare. You've made this company better, and watching you with Sterling, you've made him better too, more human. Thank you." "Thank you for giving me a chance to prove myself," Maren replied. 2 years after that mistaken interview, Sterling and Maren stood in their home, a compromise between his penthouse and her need for a yard where the twins could play, watching Riley and River chase fireflies in the backyard. "Remember when you told me this was a mistake?" Maren asked. "That I was the wrong Maren Hayes?" "Best mistake I ever made," Sterling said, pulling her close. "Turns out you were exactly the right person, just for a job I didn't know I was actually hiring for." "Which was?" "Partner. In business, in parenting, in life. Maren, you didn't just fill a position. You completed me in ways I didn't know I was incomplete. The billionaire CEO and the single mom from the wrong interview. We shouldn't work. And yet we do, perfectly. Because sometimes the best things in life come from mistakes. Sometimes the wrong interview leads to the right person, and sometimes the most unconventional hiring decision becomes the most important relationship of your life. And that's where our story ends today. What did you think? Did Maren and Sterling's story of the wrong interview leading to the right love touch your heart? Let us know in the comments what your favorite moment was. If you enjoyed this story, we have so many more waiting for you. Check out our playlist for more heartwarming romance tales that will make you believe in love all over again. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. Your support means everything to us. Until next time, keep believing in love, keep believing in second chances, and remember, the best stories are the ones that remind us we all deserve our happily ever after. See you in the next story.